Live from the infamous Halfway to Hell Plaza, located on the beautiful island of Maui in the heart of central Kahului, it's time for K-Aku Live. Heard live on 88.5 FM, KAKU. Seen live on Akaku Channel 55 and worldwide at akaku.org. And now, with today's guest, here's Shaggy!
Hey, welcome to the show. It's Shaggy. It's Halloween, and today we're going to engage in something that I like engaging in. It's called a little weird science. Now, before we get into this, let's go ahead and lay out a few ground rules. One, superstition has always been a driving force in civilization. Don't believe me? This show got on the air. There's your proof. Today, I have a guest, a couple of guests, in fact, that are going to have you seeing not only double, but maybe things in a different light. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome, for the first time ever, a real-life, legitimate ghost hunting team. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Oh,
Aloha.
well, don't be afraid to get close to the mic.
Hello. We're happy to be here.
Yeah, the mic is not haunted.
If it were, we'd know how to deal with it.
Oh, yeah. Well, Regina, when you want to, go ahead and pull it close. Yeah. But let's get some introductions. First, we'll start off with the Double Mint twins. Closest to the door.
Hello there. I'm Bobby Murakami, the director of the Fifth Dimension Paranormal Society of Maui, and I'm also a psychic and clinical hypnotherapist.
Wow. Okay, in the middle, we have...
My name's Regina Roy. I do frequency healing with something called the Life System Biofeedback.
Mm-hmm.
I have been into the paranormal and occult since I was 14 years old, and I won't admit how many decades ago that was. And I'm very delighted to be here. Thank you so much.
Ah, spoken like a true lady. And on the end.
I am Holly Kelly, and I'm a psychic intuitive reader here on the island with my twin sister Bobby sitting here. And also I'm a mystic healer, and I'm into anything beyond the realms of the norm.
Oh. Well, thank God that you ladies have shown up on this show, because we are definitely beyond the norm. All right, so I gotta start off with the most obvious question I have from those introductions. How terrible was it growing up as psychic twins?
It actually was fantastic, Shaggy. It was wonderful. We had some great experiences.
Oh, don't worry. We can break the equipment.
Oh, right.
I don't own any of this stuff. If we break it, we blame it on Joel.
Okay. So we always were able to communicate telepathically. We had our own little... inner speech, and we even remember even being in our mother's womb. So we kind of just grew up with this paranormal. And actually, can I just say, let's take the para out of normal, because I feel like at this point that all this is normal, what we're going to be talking about. I hope that's okay.
Oh, no, it's okay. See, basically what you're saying right now, and this is me attempting puns, is let's take the paranormal away from the pair of normal people in the studio. There we have it.
Great.
There we have it. Why be normal?
Oh, well, let's talk a little bit about paranormal. First off, why does that word bother you so much?
Well, Shaggy, I just think that everything is normal now, that there's no segregation of abnormal, normal. I mean, it's just normal to me. Para is what's happening right now more than ever. The veils are being lifted. People are starting to see more spirits, more ghosts, more angels, and so the veils are being lifted. And I just feel like at this point, if people don't realize this by now, they have a lot of catching up to do. There's been so many credible people in the past few years that have gone out of their way to prove that this other dimension exists, where we're able to see other spirits that aren't in physical form. Mm-hmm. And it's what Jesus Christ talked about 2,000 years ago. It's even in the Bible. And not to bring up a lot of religion, I'll stop there, but it's just time. It's just time to get rid of that para name, that word, and just pull it off the charts, because it...
So basically what you're saying is it's time now, after decades of people going out, and let's be honest, we have had some charlatans in the ghost hunting community. Mm-hmm. Usually the charlatans are the ones that get on the big circuit TV shows. But a lot of the normal scientific method of trying to investigate what is indeed an unexplained phenomenon there's not a lot of acceptance for it. The second that you go and you tell somebody what you do, a lot of people are like, oh, God, they're wearing tinfoil hats, right?
Actually, no, Shaggy. I'm gonna tell you, I've attracted, especially on this island, people that are really open. And as soon as I start speaking about this, they say, "Oh my gosh, I know exactly what you're saying. Our place is haunted. We see these spirits, and so many." I'm actually shocked, to tell you the truth. It's so unbelievable even to me. But so many people are just coming out now and speaking, where they were afraid years ago. They were so afraid that they'd be condemned, or somebody would say exactly what you're saying. Oh my God, charlatans or tin hats or whatever. So many people I've met, I hardly ever have anybody just go, oh my God, that sounds crazy. I don't even want to talk to you, and walk out. It's very, very rare. They are usually very into it, and they say, yeah, okay, it's nice somebody's actually finally talking about it. We do see these on our property or in our businesses, and we don't know what they are. Of course, there's a lot of fear, so they ignore them. And what I would like to do is to teach people to dispel the fears around what they're seeing, that a lot of entities and spirits actually feed off of fear. So yes. I would like to have more people be brave and more courageous and not be afraid, and actually open their eyes and see. And it's all about, for me, helping them pass over to or cross over or where they're stuck. A lot of these spirits, entities, ghosts, whatever people want to call them, they get stuck for whatever reason. And so I feel like it's my job to help them cross over. And as well as a lot of these TV shows, a lot of these people that are investigating right now are not helping them cross over. I wish that they would, but they're not, because these people really do want help, the people, spirits, animals, whatever that they see in that realm. And so I would like to just say that don't be so afraid of what you're seeing. It's real, it's true. Don't doubt yourself, that we're all psychic, and just it's just your body and your mind and your spirit wanting to get open, more open to seeing all realms, all dimensions right now.
Well, can I ask an honest to God, sincere question, all right?
Yes.
So when these spirits don't move on in the afterlife, does that ever give you the hint that maybe the afterlife is a lot like Studio 54 and they didn't have the right look at the gate to get in that night?
Well, that's an interesting.
Go ahead, pull it over. Rita.
That's an interesting point, because there are a lot of Hawaiian spirits here who feel very connected to the land, and they don't want to necessarily cross over. They want to stay here and keep protecting the Aina in their special way. So we have encountered a few that were not into passing over into the light, or whatever you want to call it.
Well, I mean, you've seen Studio 54. Do you really blame them? I mean, at that point...
I don't think it's crowded, because we have infinite space, infinite time, infinite dimensions. So there's no real crowding. We think of crowding because of being here on this tiny planet, which is just a speck in the vast cosmos. We're really dust in the wind, as the saying goes. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's not really crowded. Not to oppose you or anything, but I just want to make it clear that life is infinite, and the afterlife is infinite as well. We're in this plane of existence right now. It's just one of many. As we sit here, there are beings passing right through our bodies, existing in the same space we're in, yet not, because they're on a different dimension.
That's really kind of scary, because, see, at first I thought,
I'm so sorry.
Well, no. If you think about it, an entertainer's life is a life of paranoia. See, for me, I have a new lovely assistant outside. Her name's Lucy. She's joining the whole crew. Go ahead, wave at the camera if you want to. All right. So Lucy is a young, aspiring media personality that could possibly come in here at any moment and take my job. Now what you're saying is that the afterlife could also just haunt the studio to take my job again.
No, they don't want your job, Shaggy. It's okay. You're safe. You're safe.
That's a sad thing when even the afterlife doesn't want your employment. But I assure you that
they don't need it. They're good.
What do ghosts do for fun, though? Can we just ask that? I mean, there's a lot of waiting in eternity. What do you do? Pinochle? Shuffleboard?
Well, you can ask them.
Actually, that's a good question. We've never thought to ask what they're up to.
I'm thinking it might be...
That's a really good question.
Monopoly, perhaps?
Maybe they play the game of life.
I think they do just about anything that they did on this planet when they were so-called alive. Because if we really think about it, you know, our molecules in our cells in our body are so apt to be more and to know more and to heal in perfect divine perfection. So we have to ask ourselves, what are we here for, and why are we here, and what is our purpose, and you know, are we here to do soul retrieval, and are we here to move spirits on? And if you feel like that you are, then that's what, you know, your mission should be on this planet, because I believe it's all about mission work here on this planet and doing what you love and being happy, you know. So,
well, okay, this brings up an interesting point. So essentially, through studying what happens in the afterlife, you're starting to try to use that to disseminate a reason for the living world. So, can I ask, have you ever asked a ghost, just point blank, why are we here? And what did they say?
Well, Shaggy, I wouldn't personally ask a ghost why I'm here. I know exactly why I'm here. And, you know, to answer your previous question about what are they doing there, and like Holly said, they can really do whatever they want. And what a lot of people don't know is there's actually monks and priests that have crossed over and stayed on that side. You know, people have this thing where, oh my God, I see a ghost. They must be evil. They're going to hurt me. They're going to haunt me. And what people need to understand is there's other people there that are helping those people on that realm. It doesn't mean that monk or that priest is a bad or evil person, and that's what he's or she has chosen to be there to help. There's a lot of schizophrenics that are stuck in that realm that are just, talk about paranoia, you know, they are full of it. And so we don't encounter a lot of super crazy, we all feel like we have an army, a team, a legion of angels surrounding us that are helping us with this mission and are helping with our psychicism and helping us help these people move over, because there's so many people here that, and just like Regina was saying about being protective over the land, what they don't realize is they don't have to be protective over the land anymore. It's let the angels take over, let us take over, it's okay that they move on. They've been stuck for just centuries, decades, you know, eons. And what they don't realize is a lot of their ancestors are waiting for them as well to cross over. And they could be so much more happy and they're just so stuck where they are.
But if one of your relatives died and you owed them money, and then you later died, wouldn't you be a little paranoid about going to the afterlife, not holding the 20 that you owed them in life?
well, now you're getting into karma and coming in and reliving karmic debt over and over and over again, like past lives.
Oh.
So.
That does bring a good question. What did my past life have to do so wrong that this is what I'm doing now?
We ask ourselves that question every day. What did I do to deserve this?
And to look at this on a even bigger perspective is, what if you really didn't do anything wrong?
Right.
You know, what if it's just our perception of what we've been told to believe here on this planet? What if there is no wrong? What if it's just energies that we carry in and we keep thinking that something's wrong and it's really not?
Good point. Good
That is
point.
an excellent point, Holly.
See, you know, all of a sudden I'm feeling more enlightened. Now,
No, that's our whole purpose here.
well, let's talk about a little bit of self-enlightenment, because, you know, and before we go way off into the realm, let's bring it back down to real-life experiences. I want to ask you a very simple question. Each and every one of you will have a chance to answer this question. Every person goes into investigating something, whether it be science, botany, whatever they go into. They go to it from personal experience or from something that they experienced through someone else that all of a sudden became a lifelong quest for knowledge. When did you each, and I'll let each of you answer individually here, when did each of you first have an encounter with something that you thought was outside of explainable normal versus paranormal?
Oh, okay.
Let's let
well, I
Regina
have
go
a
first.
pretty delightful experience to share, not scary at all. I'm from Massachusetts, and in western Massachusetts, there's...
Undead clam bake.
That would be great, but no. there's a retreat center deep in the woods. I won't name it, but they have a little area sectioned off for the fairies, they say. And they say humans cannot go in. Well, me, loving the idea of fairies and really wanting to go in, I was peering in like, oh, I want to see a fairy. I would love to. And then I was like, oh, I'm not going to see fairies. Well, I saw tiny little balls of blue light, turquoise like your shirt almost, zipping from branch to branch. And I was like, what the heck is that? It didn't look like my idea of a fairy. So I sort of like was like, oh, I'm just making things up. I'm just seeing things. Years later, I read in a book that so-called fairies or spirits can appear as bright blue balls of light.
Wow.
So I was just, that was a confirmation for me that I can see things that, you know, are normally not seen, and that there is another dimension or realm of existence. And that really just sparked my interest, and I took it from there.
And how old were you when this first happened?
Oh, probably about 14, because at 14 I had this renaissance. I started getting into all the metaphysical type of subjects, such as astrology and tarot and meditation and all of that. I was a wannabe hippie back in the day.
I cannot, you know, if you really aspire to be that, just stop bathing. Okay.
No, I didn't want to be that kind of hippie. Water is all natural, and there is all natural soap, so there's no reason to not use it. Right? We have to spread that word in Paia, yeah?
Yeah, you know, no, there's a lot
No
of...
offense to anybody, but hey, come on now.
All right, so let's start with double mint twin number one. Number two. So
Okay. Yeah.
so
Wow, there's many things that, you know, I could speak of right now. However, I believe the first time Bobby and I were really teeny. I don't know, maybe 5.
can I be honest?
Sure.
You're still teeny.
And I started seeing the spirits over my twin sister's head and around her head. And I saw 3 at first. And I just did not know what to even think of it. So I went about my childhood just in question what this could possibly be. However, I was afraid to ask anyone because I never heard of anyone say, you know, wow, there's these translucent, you know, spirits all around you. And I thought people would think that I was absolutely insane.
Thank God, though, that you were not me, because let me tell you something. If I would have looked over at my sister and saw spirits coming out of her head, I would have burned the witch.
Yeah, right. Right.
I am no.
Yeah.
Oh, when it comes to my southern superstitions,
Right.
gasoline cures all.
Yeah. Yeah, I do know. I do know because I ask. You know, I just started asking years ago, "What are you?" And then they told me that they were, you know, spirit guides
Oh,
and
okay.
angels.
Do you guys ever
We
get
all have
jealous because your spirit guides are cooler than your sisters?
No, no.
They have the same ones.
We have a lot of spirit guides.
Yeah, we do. We
go
have
ahead.
the same. We have the same spirit guides. Actually, it's really funny, Shaggy, because they'll actually sing us songs at the same time in the
Oh my
morning.
God.
She's someplace else. I'm someplace, and then we'll
Different state.
call each other and say, okay, what song did you get this morning? And we'll start singing it and laughing about it. And I'll say, yep, I got the same song. So you know, we know, and it's amazing how fear holds us back, isn't it? Because wow, you probably would have woken up to all of this holly a long time ago and not been so afraid if we would have started talking about it. And like Holly, I saw the same guides or translucent beings or what have you, and always felt good. And it wasn't until I was about 19 years old, as a nurse, I was working in an oncology unit where I actually started seeing dark shadows.
Oh, Lord.
So here's the difference if people want to know, and I this is a big question that people have. I'm just going to answer it right now. People say, okay, how do you know who is your spirit guide and who is the ghost? How do you know that? And so we have an amazing sensor in our body, which is our stomachs and the way we feel. And it's an amazing guidance system that we have as our emotions and the way we feel. And if you feel good and you're seeing something, well, chances are they're good and positive, and they're there for you, and they love you, and they're surrounding you with this wonderful energy. But if you feel weird or bad or strange or start shaking and you feel like you're nauseated and you're going to throw up, that's not so great. So when I started seeing these dark shadows, I was pretty neutral back then because I hadn't really perfected my guidance system, my emotions. And as a nurse, I had to be very kind of neutral. I saw a lot of death, and I had to not get so emotional. I'm a nurse. I have to really concentrate on that injection of morphine or whatever. I have to be focused. And so I kept seeing these dark shadows down the hall, and I just knew they were not, they hadn't passed over. I knew they weren't my spirit guides. And I kept calling maintenance and calling and saying, hey, I see some guy walking in the hall. And he would run up, you know, and this is in the middle of the night. I was on graveyard shift, right? He would run up and, you know, because he was so scared for me, I kept saying, keep seeing this man, these men, you know, and I knew there was no back stairs there. There was no fire escape. And I thought, how in the world is this guy getting out of the window and climbing? I'm on 6 freaking floors in a hospital, you know? And so after a while, he was like, Bobby, I mean, come on, really, I don't know what to tell you. There's nobody back here. And then it hit me, okay, I'm seeing ghosts. And so I knew right then and there that I had to help. And these were men that had suffered severely in pain, a lot of pain. They were trying to transition over. They're just stuck. And then a couple years later, I had gone to a psychic, and this man sat and told me I'd always be around graveyards. And of course, I thought, well, how interesting. Even though I am interested in death, you know, why in the world would I always be around graveyards? And now I realize what he was talking about, that you know, it's that kind of energy.
Oh, God. Well, at least he wasn't trying to say that, you know, you're one of those gold digging women that tries to get the rich millionaire seconds before the grave.
Right.
Is it okay if I take a break real quick?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I tell you what, we'll turn the controls over to those guys and be right back.
Okay.
We'll be right back on 88.5 FM and Akaku Channel 55 with more K-Aku Live.
Aloha, Chivo here in Studio B for your Akaku News Break. New state fishing rules regulating the take and possession of uhu, parrotfish, and goatfish on Maui take effect tomorrow, November 1st, following signature into law by Governor Neil Abercrombie. I'll have more on those new rules next week. The last day to vote early at early walk-in locations is tomorrow. And Maui police anticipate a crowd of at least 30,000 people for tonight's Halloween festivities in Lahaina, partly because this year's Halloween falls on a Friday just ahead of a weekend. Projections are slightly ahead of last year when an estimated 28,000 people attended the event. Assistant Chief Victor Ramos said that the police presence will be very similar to what it's been in the recent years, with usual perimeter roadblocks keeping traffic off Front Street during the event. MPD's traffic section will be conducting DUI checkpoints at various locations, as well as roaming DUI patrols in the Lahaina district. The police ask the public to have a designated driver if they're planning to partake in beverages with alcohol. Police will also be monitoring the traffic flow coming into Lahaina before the event begins and advises motorists to be prepared for slow-moving traffic before and after the event. For safety, if you are encouraged to have a buddy system as they peruse and enjoy the festivities. A total of 11 people were arrested during 2013 Halloween in Lahaina, including a couple of juveniles and 9 adults for infractions that included second-degree promotion of a detrimental drug, third-degree promoting a dangerous drug, prohibited acts and drug paraphernalia, obstructing a government operation, resisting arrest, open lewdness, prohibitions involving a minor. First degree is not funny. Open lewdness is nothing to snicker at. First degree assault against a police officer, third degree assault, fourth degree theft, and first degree escape. The public is reminded that there will be road closures and slowed traffic due to this year's event. Police will be closing Front Street from Baker Street to Prison at 3:30 p.m. They anticipate reopening Front Street around 11 p.m. tonight. Maui weather. National Weather Service advisory continues for high surf for the east-facing shores of Molokai and Maui until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, as well as a small craft advisory is still posted for the Pailolo Channel, Mo'olaya Bay, and Maui County windward waters until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Tonight, we expect breezy winds and cloudy conditions. Trade winds are blowing from 15 to 25 miles per hour with higher gusts at times. Today's high was around 88. Tonight's low should be in the mid-60s once again. Tomorrow, we can expect partly sunny skies with scattered showers in the morning, becoming mostly sunny with isolated showers in the afternoon. Tonight's sunset happening shortly here at 5:51 p.m. Tomorrow's sunrise is at 6:28 a.m. And that is your Aloha Friday Akaku News Break. I'm Chivo Cheng Johnson, wishing everyone a happy Halloween.
Hi everybody, it's Shaggy. We asked for it and you gave it to us. Here, just look, it's the creepiest places on Maui according to your votes. In case you're wondering what I'm talking about, earlier this week I ran a little poll on my Facebook page asking you where you thought the creepiest spots on Maui were. And now, just in time for Halloween, here it is, the list. Look, Eric Blair says in his opinion, creepy places on Maui. Number 1, the abandoned high school at night when it's stormy and dark. Number 2, Market Street, downtown Wailuku at 10 p.m. when the power is out. Number 3, running naked in sugarcane fields at midnight during a full moon, and he asked us not to ask. Kyle James Miller thought Makawao Elementary School at nighttime was not exactly the type of place to be hanging around. Melissa M. Michaels spooked us with Happy Valley after midnight because it wasn't always happy there. That's nothing compared to Kyle James Miller, who said try Happy Valley in the middle of the day. That's even worse. Galena says Paiwela Lighthouse at night. Mana reminds us that the old Maui High, that's pretty creepy. Susan says up Iao Valley, way up, listen to the cries. Also Waihehe in the sand by the beach to the old dairy. Just after the sun fully sets, you can hear the 3 lost fishermen crying out, help us. Ooh. Wailuku along the trail of the night marchers, don't look. Yikes. Ja Love agrees with Susan on one pic, stating Waihehe Valley at dark, and also adding Old Maui High School, #shivers. Kanani says the Lahaina Luna High School at night. And Paul James Brown says, really? There's no creepy places in paradise. Leslie Watson says the old Pu'unene Hospital, and Diana agrees, saying the old Pu'unene Hospital, school, and church. Well, there it is. If you're looking for things that go bump in the night, those are the best places to get creeped out for Halloween on Maui. Happy Halloween, everybody. And we're back, 88.5 FM, channel 55 Akaku, dealing with the trifecta of paranormal, but not paranormal, because what we've been talking about today on All Hallows Eve is the veil between this life and the next. Is it merely an energy shift? Or is it something that, well, is too weird to explain? Let's go to our panel of experts. All right, panel of experts. First off, what is the afterlife?
Okay. Well, okay.
All right. I like how the two blondes conspire against the brunette. It's like, well, you know what?
Oh. The afterlife. Okay.
What is the afterlife?
Okay. Well, as you may or may not know, our souls are eternal. This lifetime is a blink of the eye in your existence. There is no beginning and no end. We are here and we will always be in existence.
That sounds a lot like the line at the DMV.
Well, yeah, it feels that way a lot of the time, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know, you're there. Yeah. You've always been there.
And you will
you're
always
going to be there.
Exactly.
So it's on the grand scheme of things, in our slowed down corporeal state, humans don't have a good grip of time, is what you're saying.
Well, we experience it from a very limited perspective. It turns out that we only use a very small percentage of our brains. And if our brains were fully turned on, we would be psychic, we would be able to teleport, we would have all knowledge of everything, including our previous and our future existences. We're really condensed down into this tiny little being. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. So after you die, and it's been scientifically proven, they've weighed a body, well, a living body before the person passes over, and after the person passes, it's 4 ounces lighter. So your spirit actually has mass and exists. It actually exists. And there are actually people, probably my dear friends here, who could actually see the spirit leaving the body.
Ooh, okay, so here we go. This is where the fun begins. Okay. Here we go. Are we ready for this? Einstein's theory of relativity and ghost hunting. Quick guess. What do they have to do with each other?
Oh my goodness. Bobby?
You tell us, Shaggy.
Okay, well, this is something that has been out there for years, and it kind of directly goes with what you just said. Here's the deal. Energy equals mass times the acceleration of speed of light squared. That is E equals mc squared. However, if you just take the first part of that equation, what you see is energy equals mass. So, with that little thing that you just said, would you say that ghost hunting could possibly be a real science given some of these things?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely, Shaggy. And we're all in agreement here because we've all seen and heard and experienced so many things to prove that. And, you know, at this point, though, we're not about the other shows that are on TV that are trying to actually prove that they exist. We already know they do. So we've gone a step further to help them cross over. And my belief system is there's not much difference between living and passing over anyway, as you asked before. There's just hardly any difference at all. This is just a little stopover, so to speak. And we can experience whatever we want to experience here, which is so fabulous about being on this planet. We can just have so many amazing experiences, or we can make it a living hell for ourselves. So to me, there's just not much of a difference. You know, my goal is to be able to communicate with them, keep us safe, which I feel like that we are, and I know that's a big question too. People say, what do you do before you go out to keep yourselves protected or safe or what have you? And we definitely do a little prayer. We call in our angelic realm, our army of angels. I always say that God lends me his angels to go out on these hunts because, or haunts, however you want to say it. And it's funny, we don't even have to go hunting or haunting. You know, they're everywhere. You know, people say, "Oh my God, is my house or my business haunted?" More than likely, there's somebody there. You know, we've only been here how many years on this planet, and we're so many people that have been here way longer before us. So they're just there, and so and plus they can give us information. I actually have a little research project going of my own about the smells that people smell. And I do want to bring that up because it's a big topic of what we're talking about. People say, "Oh my God, I smell this perfume sometime, or this old cigar," or, you know, and I'm a perfumer at heart. I have a book, I have perfumes out on the market. And that's always been a fascinating question for me. How does that work? How do we smell? What's happening when we smell these smells that a person smoked a cigar 200 years ago in a home? How is that happening? What my belief is, speaking of relativity, the theory of relativity, is that smoke really coming over, or that perfume coming over to us, or in that moment, that split second, have we crossed over to the other side to be able to smell that smell? So that's my
Okay. So basically what you're saying is I could be dead right now.
Okay.
All right.
Let me elaborate on the Einstein.
I love how my personal version of purgatory has the Reverend Joel in it.
Don't be afraid, Shaggy.
You know?
Yeah, I like when you brought up Einstein. However, if people want to start seeing spirits,
Yeah.
all you have to do is call it in. And what's held us back is our judgments and opinions. When I was little, like I said before, I saw spirits around Bobby, and I got scared, and I stopped. And it wasn't until just recently that I had to open up my mind and be, aware and awake to, hey, this is really, something that's going on, and I'm not making all this up because other people are seeing this, and I know everybody's not crazy here.
Is it impossible to think that ghosts might just be a little bougie and don't want to hang around with the common living people?
Oh, definitely. Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, who would have thought it?
Yeah.
The afterlife is made up of snobs.
It's
All of a sudden, purgatory seems like a great idea, ladies.
with the beings who are sticking close to the planet, they're reliving. Some of them are stuck in a time loop, and they're reliving trauma over and over again. Like you see on the ghost shows, like a woman will be walking down the stairs and trip, and it will just keep happening. People will keep hearing this or seeing this over and over. This person is stuck in a trauma loop, doesn't realize that they've passed over yet. And sometimes they get aggravated that people have moved into their house. And that's when things happen, where things get knocked off of shelves or doors slam or whatever, because they sometimes, if their emotions are strong enough, they can affect matter. So yeah, that can happen. They can be a little upset that other people are in their space.
You think the afterlife has better TV? I just got to thinking about this because let's say that I become a ghost right now. All right? Somebody comes into my house and starts watching, God forbid, reality television.
Oh my God, no.
I'm going to be a little bit
nightmare.
more apt to haunt them than say somebody comes in
There you go.
and watches some cool documentary educational stuff.
Perfect example. Perfect example. If you're in their house doing things they don't like, they get a little upset.
Yeah.
And that's when the haunted activity starts.
Attachments. It's
Wow.
all about it's all about attachments. Like I had said earlier, Shaggy, people get attached, why would they want to keep protecting a piece of earth or a piece of dirt or diamonds? Believe me, you can have it all again. You don't have to stay stuck and say, oh my God, I can't leave here because I had all this gold and these diamonds and this earth and this piece of land. I mean, there's so much more out there, and it's about attachments.
Well, here's an interesting question. Since we are dealing with the ethereal, we are dealing with the universal constant of energy, is it safe to say that when somebody passes on and connects to the energy of the afterlife, they can literally be anywhere in the cosmos instantaneous?
That is correct. Yes, and there's a word for it called bilocation, and you can even bilocate right now in your physical body, in your physical form.
Okay, let me see if this works. I do not want to live on this planet anymore. Please. It didn't work.
And, it's interesting you brought up the television, because recently the last full moon, at our last haunting, we had a wonderful experience where we had turned on our static EMF detector.
White noise generator.
Yes, you got it. And we were able to access this radio station that was so far out. It's very clear. We have it on film, on video. They were playing a very clear song, very clear words. Actually, it sounded great electronically,
yeah.
But what we heard was not so great. And so we tried to find the song on YouTube. We Googled it. We've never heard the song before, so we believed that we were hearing them making music where they were. And it's because everything exists. And so I always say, let's not limit our minds to anything. Be open to everything, broad-minded. It's all out there. It all exists. And yes, it is trippy to hear stuff like that and to think, wow, where is this coming from? So, and at that moment, are we there? Are we there, or are they there with us? Relativity again. What's the difference? Another thing that we do as soon as we go out on an investigation, Shaggy, is right away after we call in our angels and our team, I immediately say out loud that I have the utmost respect for the spirits, and I'm only there to talk and communicate with them if they're willing to communicate with me. I like to be real clear that I'm not there to provoke them and, hey, throw a rock at me, and I'm not there for physical. Yeah, come at me, bro. Come at me, bro. And really,
I would love it if ghost hunters were more like Jersey Shore,
Yeah, come Come at me, bro. Bring us $1 million or something like that, you know.
Sun's out, guns out, Ghost. Come on.
Tell us where the gold's hidden. Yeah.
Oh, my God. It's GTL, Ghost, Tan, and Laundry. Oh. Jeez. Or in that case, you know, I guess it would be Ghost, Teleportation, and Levitation. There you go.
There you
GTL
go.
of the afterlife. God. Are there such things as Guidos in the afterlife?
Well, if a being is still stuck to their identity that they had in the most recent life, then yes, they would still have the same personality traits, the same thought patterns. Yeah, instead of moving on to being the eternal divine being that we actually are, they would stay stuck in their little personality and attached to their past life. And that's when you get the hauntings.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you just try to keep an anchor because you have some sort of connection to it that you think, oh, I can't let go of it. And even in death,
it's
you
ego.
keep that
Yes,
connection.
it is ego.
It's ego.
It's all about ego here. Yeah.
See, this goes back to my little point about ghosts being really bougie people. Okay, we have to take a break. Is that okay? All right. We'll be right back after this.
And we'll be right back on 88.5 FM and Akaku Channel 55 with more K-Aku Live. Hi, I'm Joel Agnew. This is Chica, and this is what's on the radar for Halloween night, October 31st, 2014. Maui on Stage presents another film in their series of How Rocktober Got Its Groove Back tonight. The 6th annual celebration of horror. For more information, call the theater at 244-6969. Hyatt Regency Maui Resort and Spa presents Haunted House 2014 from 4 to 7 p.m. All proceeds will benefit the 2015 Charity Walk. Tickets are $5 for adults and $3 for the little monsters. Aww. For more information, contact Recreation at 661-1234. The Haida Restoration Foundation presents Hawaiian music series featuring Dane Fujiwara from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at the Baldwin Home Museum lawn. Blankets, mats, and low beach chairs are welcome. The museum is located at the corner of Front and Dickinson Streets in Lahaina. October 31st, Hope Chapel presents Trunk or Treat Halloween Spectacular from 5 to 9 p.m. Enjoying a parking lot full of cars, decked out in Halloween fare, a hayride, petting zoo, mechanical bull, indoor kid zone, and an entertainment admission is $3, free for children 3 and younger. The chapel is located at 300 East Walakahau Kihei, and proceeds to benefit Free World Now, dedicated to stopping human trafficking. A good cause, for sure. Watch scuba divers carve pumpkins among the sharks and fish in Maui Ocean Center's Black Tip exhibit. Oh, excuse me. Black Up exhibit. All right. At 11:30 a.m. and open oceanfront at 1:30 p.m. Tricks or treats, goodies, bags, or keiki ages 3 to 12 available in the Maui Ocean Treasures gift shop. Cost is included with aquarium admission and appropriate for all ages. For more information, call 270-7088. The MAPPA live production, The Glass Menagerie, will be 7:30 p.m. Friday and Saturday, and 2 p.m. Sunday at the Stepping Stone Playhouse in the Queen Ka'ahumanu Center. Performances continue until November 9th. Tickets are $21 with discount for seniors and students, and are available by calling 244-8760 or going online to www.mauiacademy.org. The Lanai Chamber of Commerce hosts its second Fifth Friday on Lanai, Halloween from 4:30 to 8:30 at Dole Park. Highlights include costume contest, keiki parade, live music, food, drinks, prizes, and more. Tickets are $5 in advance or $10 at the event. For details, visit nnhfridaylanai.com. Maui Film and Heritage Festival at Maui Mall. The Maui Filipino Chamber of Commerce Foundation prevents the Maui Film Heritage Festival from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Maui Mall in Kahului. Enjoy Filipino food, entertainment, and exciting contests. For more details, call 242-8100. Celebrate Arbor Day at Maui Nui Botanical Gardens and receive one of 1,000 native trees from 9 a.m. to noon. Demonstrations, food, drinks, and gifts will be available for purchase to benefit the garden. For more information, call 249-2798 or visit Maui, make that MNBG.org. Start your night out with Happy Hour, Maui Roller Girl style, at the Stash Bash, an event with Wayne and Garth at Kihei VFW Hall, located at 2110 Uluniu Road. Doors open at 5 p.m. Show begins at 6 p.m. Admission is $10 pre-sale and $15 at the door. For details or tickets, visit MauiRollerGirls.com. Join paddlers dressed in costume at the Master Blasters Canoe Race at Kanikahai Harbor. There will be live music, dancing, and local-style grinds for purchase. Paddlers must be 35 and older, and each must drink a 6-pack of beer during the 6-mile race. Honolulu organist John Renke will perform at St. John's Episcopal Church at 6 p.m. Renke is director of music at St. Anthony's Cathedral on Oahu and founder of Schola Cantorum San Francisco. Admission is free. The sanctuary is located at 8992 Kula Highway in Kula. And tonight, it's the Rocky Horror Picture Show. The Halloween Party at the MAC, featuring a revival of Maui's all-star favorites, Jerry Iding, Amy Hanaya Li'i, Eric Gilliam, of course, Dr. Nat, Dale Button, Tim Wolf, Vince Esquire, Kelly Covington, and I understand from Eric that Leah Krieg will also be there. Let's see. In a bodacious Halloween holiday event that will blow your fishnet stockings off. The movie, enhanced by live action, video, and music, is sure to scare the song and dance. Actually, it's going to be a live stage show. The film will be shown in the background, but the numbers will be performed by the artist on stage, and many of the numbers have been adapted by Eric to be dance numbers. So there'll be quite a bit of dancing. Come on down, bring your dancing shoes. You are going to love this event. And finally, they'll have an inappropriate costume contest. You dress up in your most creative Halloween attire for a chance to win first prize, with live music from Eric Gilliam and Sins of the Flesh, along with dance music from a DJ and keeping the boogeyman alive. And there's great food, beverages, prizes, people watching, and of course, Frankenfurter. This event is 21 and over, location Yokauchi Pavilion at the MAC. I'm Joel Agnew. This is Chica, and that was Happy Halloween, your treat for October 31st, 2014. Have fun.
Looking for unique entertainment? Yeah, well, try Shaggy on Akuku. Live every day at 5 on cable channel 55 and simulcast on 88.5 FMK Aku.
And we are back. Welcome to the show. It's All Hallows Eve, and we are talking about the science of ghost, or the ghost of science. We'll find out in just a sec. Our ghost hunting team joining us in the studio consists of the Double Mint twins and Elvira's little sister. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the fifth dimension. All right, so I want to talk about some real stuff that you guys have done here on Maui. First off, what is one of your favorite places to ghost hunt on the island?
I would say Iao Valley.
Iao Valley? Really?
Yeah. There's a lot of activity there. There was a lot of bloodshed there back in the day when King Kamehameha was fighting his battles. Mm-hmm. It's said that at one point the river ran red with blood. That's how big the massacre was. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of spirits there that are traumatized and still connected to the land as well. We've gone out and we've opened a portal into the next life for them to pass through, and we've actually helped some pass over.
The rest of them are just, no, not happening.
Well, the warriors like to stay because they still feel like this is our land and we're defending it, and those...
The protectors.
No, you could say it. You could say it.
You bleep me out, yeah?
Oh, well, no, there's no bleeping on this. But,
okay, never mind then. Okay. Those naughty guys who came and killed our people and took our land, you know, they're still angry. And they still feel a sense of responsibility to the land. However, I do remember the last time we were there, we opened up a portal, and a woman I saw in my peripheral sight with 2 little children came meekly over, and she was curious, and she really wanted to go after I explained to her that it was okay to pass over. And she and her children did.
You know, the sad thing is what if she wasn't dead and she was just hanging around and you've actually just let her cross over? So now her poor husband is walking around Eao going, honey, let the kids, honey.
That's interesting. A Japanese tourist.
Oh.
You are so funny, Shaggy.
You are.
I'm telling you.
Because again, we could not speak their language. So there you go.
And
You're
that's
right.
one thing I wanted to ask. Translators. When we're talking about going to a place like Eao, I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say none of us are native Hawaiian speakers.
Okay, you're correct.
Okay, so how do you overcome the undead language barrier?
Right.
How is that?
It's thoughts and emotions. It's like, well, I don't think I'm crazy. I can speak to my cat through emotions and pictures in my mind. I send her a picture of what I'd like her to do. Don't jump on the couch, please. Of course, sometimes she ignores me, but she's a cat, so what are you going to do? But it's the same thing with the language barrier with ghosts. You envision the beautiful afterlife and peace and serenity, and you show them the portal in your mind and, welcome them through and give them the feeling of it's safe, it's okay.
Well, what if you're like really, really distracted when you're opening these portals and you end up sending the ghost to 7-Eleven for your shopping list?
Okay. Let me speak a little bit about language, and that's an excellent question. I thought of that years ago. I thought, well, how do we speak to them? I think, this is my own belief system, I believe, okay, we're on planet Earth, we're in a different realm, and there's so many other dimensions in the multiverse, so to speak. I'll just say multiverse.
Okay.
I believe that we're all mind-knowing in infinite variety. So that would set us up for, can we speak 1,000 languages from being an infinite variety of all there is in eternal infinity with a source?
Wow.
So this goes really, really, really deep.
Well, okay, this does go really, really deep because I want to throw out this number that's going to shock each and every one of you. Every year for the past 2 decades on planet Earth, every year, a major language dies. And at one point, right at the beginning of the new millennium, we were reporting some 400-something spoken languages on planet Earth no longer have anybody speaking them. So when you think about all the course of human history, I mean, at some point you're going to be talking Babylonian, Macedonian.
And also there's
gibberish.
A lot of children being born right now that are coming in with their own languages that, we believe could be Arcturian or Palladian, rogue from other rogue planets. So it just goes on forever and ever. It's something that we all have to think about. We're not limited here. Our mind's not limited here.
Well, it's really great, and I mean this from an honest standpoint. It's really great if a discussion could be had where nobody's feelings would get hurt, and we could say once and for all, what is normal might be a lot more than we accept. What's paranormal might not be real. If you had to definitively defend your side of this is real, this can be proven, and we use a methodology to do it, what would you say to people that are going, oh boy, I've just sat through an hour of weirdness?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's the question of believing in yourself and trusting in yourself. If you constantly throw the baby out with the bathwater, then I believe you're just never going to get anywhere with anything in life.
Well, you're certainly not going to get clean.
I have a suggestion for people, not to plug somebody else's product, but there's a wonderful researcher. His name is David Wilcock, Wilcock. He came out with a book just a few years back called The Source Field Investigations, where he compiled a numerous amount of scientific research studies that have been done mostly in Russia because they're much more open to the paranormal in Russia. And
Like, honestly, have you been to Russia?
no, I haven't.
There's not a lot else to get interested in other than cold, frostbite, hypothermia, and gulags.
The good liquor, though.
Oh, yes.
And getting drunk, right? Yeah. It's a fabulous book, and I highly recommend it. It's really an eye-opener, especially for the scientifically minded. It's one I refer to time and time again.
Oh,
And
so Wilcock.
yes,
Okay.
David Wilcock. He has a lot of YouTube videos. Brilliant researcher. Young guy, maybe early or mid-30s. Very personable.
Okay.
And Shaggy, I would like to answer that and just say, as a clinical hypnotherapist, I just believe at this point, after doing it so many years, that our lives right now are an illusion, that it's all an illusion, that you're hypnotized right now, we all are, or I believe that we couldn't even exist here on the physical planet. So that's how I would answer your question. And I just want to end with this. Gosh, Holly and Regina, when I die, I hope I don't owe you all $20. Yeah.
All debts forgiven in advance. No worries.
You want me forever, especially at Halloween.
Oh, Lord. And see, that's the cool thing, too, is because everybody says this, and we'll probably, how much time have we been babbling here? Is it almost show, okay, oh, wow, we need to
Wrap
do
this
this
up, yeah.
really quickly. Okay, so let's ask the big question. It is Halloween today, and what makes this special in the spirit world? Because I always have this thing going back through history that sometime around this time of year, in a lot of different religions, there is an observed some sort of harvest type festival. And Halloween is our pagan adaptation of a harvest festival. What does this have to do with ghosts?
A lot, actually. Back in the pre-Christian days, especially from the Celtic area, which is my forte, it was called Samhain. And it was a very, very special and solemn occasion where they were getting ready for cold winters and possibly famine. So it was very centered around the possibility of not making it through the winter. They would put up all their harvest, their grains and vegetables for the winter, and they would slaughter their animals, which made it more about death. They would have to slaughter the weak animals and you know, keep the healthy ones okay for the winter. And along with that theme, they would honor their ancestors who had passed on, not only because of the physical activities occurring at that time, but because, as Bobby was mentioning, the veils between the worlds was thinnest at that time. It has something to do with astrological location in space, where you become much more open psychically, and you can experience talking to your dead ancestors at that time. So it became very much about death and honoring death, not being afraid of it, but realizing it's a part of life. We're all going to die, unfortunately, at some point, unless you really want to be out of here. In that case, it's wonderful news.
Just saying. Just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. Okay.
So it was a time of divination as well, where people could foretell the future to see, oh, are we going to make it through the winter? What can we expect? Will babies be born? Who will pass on? It was a very, very important time, and it had nothing to do with candy or pumpkins or witches on broomsticks. And I wanted to say a little something about witches, too. Witches have been very maligned, and it's a political thing that happened back when the medical establishment was taking hold. They would go through all the villages and kill the wise women, who were the women who used herbs for healing. They were the midwives. They were the counselors. Women had a lot of power back then, but the religious and political systems of the time weren't having any of that, so they had to do away with the wise women. And that's where the concept of evil witches came in. If you demonize something and get the masses to believe that these are scary, bad people, then your agenda of genocide, basically, is much easier to fulfill.
You know, the scary thing is if a long time ago, and you've got to think of the big picture here, for a long time ago, we killed a bunch of smart women. Doesn't that explain the cast of Jersey Shore now?
Actually, unfortunately, perhaps so, because if you wipe out the genetics of intelligence or you know, psychic abilities, then the population becomes much less able to manifest that in their own genetic line.
Yikes. You know, I love how you guys paint such a bright, happy, sunny, rainbow-filled future for us all.
That's just how I roll.
Yeah, I mean, beginning of this thing, I was happy. Right now, I'm sitting here going, you know.
Well, we'll end on a happy note.
Okay. Well, maybe, just maybe, because the other thought that I had during this whole explanation, too, is, you know, you say that there is a point that we can get to where we can talk to our dead relatives and stuff. Okay, some of my dead relatives, I'm actually glad they're gone. Do I have to talk to them all?
No, you absolutely do not. You can choose who you would like to speak with.
Oh, thank you, God. Oh, I don't want to say who, but there is like a long list of ancestors I'm going, do not return call. Oh, God.
Leave a message, please.
Yes. Is there such thing as a afterlife answering service?
I'm not sure.
Oh, God.
I believe it. I believe there is.
Well, I want to say, one, big thank you for coming on to the show, and two, for talking a little bit about what you do. Now, here's the thing that I know that happens with ghost hunters. From time to time, you go on hunts. When's your next hunt?
Definitely on the full moon, this coming full moon, and we already have a residence up country that we're going to be hunting/haunting, and we do love going into residences and businesses, and you know, for sake of their privacy, you know, I won't tell you a lot of places we have been and investigated just because it was it's private, and they don't want people to know their businesses are haunted. But this is a residence up country, that we're going to go into, and we are going to be dealing with some night marchers, and so that should be very interesting. So
interesting, she says.
Yeah,
good choice of words.
Yeah. And you know, we do sometimes look for somebody to help us translate. You know, Japanese or Native Hawaiian would help us out a lot. And also, we're looking for volunteers, like a film crew that would help film and document more of the stuff. My computer is completely full, and I have no more room. So we need like a big computer and somebody to help us videotape.
Okay.
They can contact us through our website.
Yeah, what is the website?
Yeah, just Google the Fifth Dimension Paranormal Society Maui, Hawaii, and we'll be there.
Right. There you go. Thank you so much for coming in today. I hope you had fun on the show. Did you?
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Shaggy.
Now,
Great questions, by the way.
Oh, cool. Well, I wasn't going to ask the obvious one, which is the studio haunted? Because I think we found out. Yes.
No worries, though. No worries.
No worries.
Ghosts really get a bad rap, so nothing to fear.
Well, now, though, this is something cool for me and Joel, is now that we can say, this show is filmed live in front of an undead audience. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you.
Well, for everybody else, thanks for joining us on the show. Remember, if you are going out trick-or-treating tonight, don't worry about all the crazy little stuff that might go spook and bump in the night. It could be a dead relative that you owe $5 to. Pony up and have a happy and safe Halloween. Till next time, love you, mean it, Kate, and bye.